It is almost, I think, almost 20 years now. And he's an advocate. In case you land into trouble and you need someone to get you out of trouble, that's what JP does. He has a lot of books. He has studied at LDC, done LLB, has done PGDLP, LDC, and he's also working as a managing partner for KN Advocates. And I can assure you, these are the people we need in our lives. If you had not known it, please be in his good books. So I am sure the person we have invited today is one who qualifies to teach us about our marriages, and what kind of options we actually have in the according to the Ugandan law. So you're welcome, JP, and I will
Thank you,
hand over
Dickens.
to you.
Thank you, Dickens. Good evening, members. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, like I said, my name is John Paul Rubagumya. I am currently practicing with Kwesiga Nelson and Company Advocates. We are based on Nkrumah Road, next to Centenary Bank, Kampala. Yeah, most of you we estimate like 20 years ago, like Dickens has said, and all of you have become boys and, I mean, men and women, and now you have children. So the law comes in when you are getting married, when you are giving birth, when you want to divorce, and also after death, which we call succession. Now, in this case, for purposes of tonight, first of all, family law is broad. We cannot share it in one day and finish it. Maybe we shall have some aspects here and there. There are some guys who are calling me, so in case you see me breaking off, I am struggling with phone calls.
You can try to put it in like
Dickens,
do
I'm
not
having a lot
disturb.
of calls.
Can you try to put
Okay.
it in a do not disturb mode? You can give it a try and put it in do not disturb, um, so that you don't get so many calls. Uh,
Dickens, are we still on?
yeah. Yes, we are. I was saying that can you put it in do not disturb?
Okay. Yeah, we can proceed. Now,
Okay.
there are 4 types of marriages under our Ugandan setup, and those are the
Mm,
ones officially recognized
yeah.
by the government, and they include, among others, civil marriage,
Mm,
church marriage,
yeah.
customary marriage, and Islamic marriage. Now, the church marriage is the usual one. The usual one you see around people going to churches,
Mm,
um, the Protestant church, the Catholic, and some born agains. You should also know that some churches are not registered to conduct marriages. By the way,
yeah.
it can be a church that is there, but it is not registered. And the registration of a marriage is a major component because it's what gives it its legality and validity. So legitimacy of a
Yeah.
marriage is upon registration. That's the one that is recognized by the state. Now,
Mm,
church marriage, there are churches which are licensed by government,
yeah.
and then there are some other churches which are not licensed. So, a licensed for you to conduct a marriage in an unlicensed church, then you must get a special permission from the minister of justice. But in this case, we are talking about church marriage. in for those which are registered. There is a presumption that they are registered.
Yeah.
Then we have civil. Civil, this is, some people actually think this is a court marriage. There is no court marriage. It actually happens at URSB. There is there is a department for marriages, for registration of marriages, and it's also procedure where you register, then you take about 21 days, where you have filled in, you swear affidavits to confirm you are single or you are divorced, such things like that. Then after 21 days, that's when you are officially married. Now, civil marriages are not common in Uganda because most people prefer this pomp of going to church. Ugandans think if you don't go before God, that's not a marriage. Which is a different phenomena, like maybe from people who are outsiders. I've actually seen most of foreigners are the ones who prefer civil marriages. Ugandans, it's very rare. It's very rare when you go to the register of marriages to find Ugandans wedding. It's always foreigners. So Ugandans prefer going to church than going to do a civil way, and that's why they confuse it with court, thinking it is court marriage. The courts do not wed. In fact, what courts do, they help in separation, in divorce. You know. Then we have customary. Customary now, this is introduction, kuchara, kuhinjira. You know, it is also a recognized form of marriage, and this one, the law says it's predominantly polygamous. So you can introduce as many as you can. Even if they are 20, you can today you can introduce in Mbale, tomorrow you go to Kabale, tomorrow you go to Kampala, the next day you go to Jinja. Introduction after introduction. And the law will still allow. It's called customary. It follows customs. And among the considerations for customary marriage, it has to be registered in order for it to be legally recognized. And where do you register it from? You first go to, is it town clerk? You go to the town clerk, you pick there some forms, then you go to URSB, there is a customary marriage certificate, and then you are officially regarded as having been married under customary law. Now, bride price and Jugano, it's mandatory in this. If there is no bride price, then it may be taken that that you are not customarily married. So there must be bride price. Um, then customary marriages, you need proof. The day you ever hear that there is a Kwanjula or a Kwinjira, at least if you are a party in that, I mean when you are the one either marrying or being married, you should ensure that you take photos. Photos are very, very, very important in that when it's time for like separation during divorce proceedings, they ask for proof. And proof, here they are looking at the photos of you um, during the ceremony when you are eating with the presence of cows, those things. That's what they are looking at. Failure to do that, then the law will consider you not customarily married. Now, you have this Islamic marriage. This one is for Muslims, and all marriages, apart from the one of Muslims, during divorce, they are governed by the Divorce Act. Now, the Islamic marriage, for them, they give you up to four wives. You can marry as many as four. However, during divorce, their kind of divorce is special. It's called tarak. You wake up in the morning and tell someone, I tarak you, tarak, tarak. After the fourth tarak, I think they are you are recognized as divorced. Um, Now there is what they call bigamy. Bigamy is where you find that you have conducted a civil marriage with one person, and then you want to go and do like a kwanjura with another person. Now that is an offense under the law. You are not allowed. Civil and church are solid. Like it's for one man, one wife. You cannot have two wives under civil and church marriage. So it's predominantly for one person, uh, a man and a wife. But however, like I already told you, under customary you can have as many. Then there is a migration from customary to church. Now you can have like 20, for example, a man can have more than 20 women, all under customary law. However, when he chooses to do a civil marriage, he will only choose one. It's very important to understand the difference where someone is migrating from Kwanjula, from Kwinjira to church or civil. Um, I think Kuchara or Kuinjira, this is it's culturally set up. Some people don't know it's an official marriage. However, when it's not registered, it's just a normal marriage. I mean, a normal gathering. For a customary marriage like Kuinjira to be officially recognized under the law, it must be registered. It must be registered with the registrar of marriages. Uh, Now, the law comes in during your days of celebrations. Celebrations are now under church. You celebrate, you're happy, you are officially married. What happens when you are tired of each other? When you are tired of each other, then now that comes to divorce. Also, the law gives out how divorce proceedings are conducted. Now, some people, this is where the confusion comes in. If you are married under church, civil, or Islamic, then during divorce, you are entitled to a share of the property which you acquired during marriage. However, again, divorce is a big topic. It's a long topic. We shall also get maybe a day for that. Dickens,
Yes,
Dickens,
sir.
Dickens, are you
Yes, sir.
there?
Yes, we are here. We are learning.
Yes. So I think after introduction of what marriages are, then maybe I can have people asking questions. It's better to respond
Yeah.
to questions than giving
Yes.
just a lecture, so that at least
Yes,
if
that's
there
it.
are any issues there, uh, here we are doing marriage. Then in
Yeah.
future we shall deal with divorce. Divorce, that's when
Okay.
property comes in. Now, if you are married under customary, will you share on the property or you won't share? Those who are cohabiting. Cohabiting is someone staying
Yeah.
with another for a period of time, but they are not under any form of marriage. What happens under cohabitation? Are you entitled to property? A quick answer is no, because you are not recognized. You are still boyfriend and girlfriend. And the law does not recognize boyfriend and girlfriend. The law only recognizes those who are married, and that's what happens during divorce. Then we shall also have a concept on children. You know, what are the rights of children from the time of birth up to 18 years of age. So we shall also have that one. Then also we shall also have under again divorce. There is custody. There is custody, maintenance. What happens to children after the divorce? We shall also look at that. Then we shall also look at succession. Succession is after death. You know, what happens, the people you leave behind, what happens, the law that governs the Succession Act, it governs on how the property, uh, on how the estate, your estate is managed. Under, there is what you call intestate succession. That's when someone dies without a will. Then there is what is called testate succession. Testate succession is where someone leaves a will. So we shall also discuss about making wills for you guys, especially those who have some money and those who have property to bequeath to your children or to your people. Yeah. So for now, we can take on questions on marriage. If there is anyone
Okay.
wanting,
Thank you so
Yes, I
much,
had put.
JP. I am going to call on you, Brian. Brian, you are going to be
Mm.
the first one to ask a question. Uh, I have learned in just the short brief that you have talked about the marriages.
Mm.
Uh, I think there is so much I have learned. I will ask my question, but let me give Brian to first ask the question, and then I will also come in. Maybe you can put your hand up if you don't know how to raise your hand on Teams. There is a symbol of a hand somewhere. But if you don't manage to do that, still you can come in as long as someone keeps quiet and you feel you can interject. Please come in. Yes, Brian.
Yes, thank you so much, Council JP, for those insights,
You're
and
welcome, Brian.
Dickens for organizing this. The marriage bit was actually very clear. My
Mm.
my 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 question, even before we get to it into it, is divorce.
Mm.
For property that you have acquired, sorry, for property that you acquired before the marriage, is the other party entitled a share of it or not?
Okay.
Then also, what does the law say about the children? Who takes care of the children? Where and what are the obligations? And does the law command co-parenting? Is it a mutual understanding from both parents? If there is no mutual understanding, what is the law? What does the law guide on who takes care of the children, who stays with the children, and what are the obligations of both parents? Thank you.
Mm. Thank you, Brian, for your question. Um, Now, on divorce, property which was acquired before a marriage, the law has since evolved. Before, it used to be what God has united, nobody should put asunder, and people would share property equally. However, the current law, the current jurisprudence, it says the property which you find someone with remains their property, and then the property which you acquire together jointly, then that becomes joint property. Then we also have matrimonial property. For example, this is property which the couple choose to call home. That's matrimonial property. Now, under this, you have, for example, you are married. The wife is the husband is working, but the wife is not working. Still, the property which you acquire after during the subsistence of the marriage, then that one is shared. Now, a woman's contribution, the law has come into case law. It says a woman's contribution cannot be quantified. That staying home, cooking, giving birth, bathing, cleaning, all that is a woman's contribution, and it entitles her to a portion, to a share of that. But it will depend on the circumstances of each case, you know, circumstances of each case. And now, of late, Brian, there is what they call prenuptial agreements. A prenuptial or a prenup, in short. Now, this is an agreement between the couple where they agree to say that you have come into my marriage. You found when I have two arcades and um, and the house here and there. Then you also have your own. So your property is your own. My property is mine. You sign, you go. Then the property which you want that this is going to be joint property, you also indicate that during the marriage, what I found you with is yours. What you found me with is mine. And it's celebrities usually do that. And some other people in Uganda have started doing it, especially those who are enlightened and those who involve lawyers before wedding, because it is believed some people get married with different intentions. Some come for love, others come for property acquisition. So, in order to prevent any future misunderstandings, you could also consider prenups. Then, Brian, during divorce, again, the law looks at circumstances, at different circumstances. For example, who is responsible? Here we are looking at a petitioner and a respondent. The person going to court is a petitioner, and then the person they are choosing is a respondent. Now, who is the cause? who is the cause of the divorce. The law looks at that. Again, it also looks at the welfare of the children. Now, if for example the cause of the divorce is the husband, but the husband has money, then the court will order that let the husband take care of the children under the custody of the mother. So custody, it depends on which person has prayed for custody. They can give joint custody where they say the child will be with the mother during school and then maybe weekends to go and visit the father. The law does not separate. It does not sever ties between the child and the parents, whether the other one is wrong or right. However, they can say because the mother, depending on the age of the children, especially now here we are looking at children of tender years. Children of tender years are those between below 8 years. Below 8 years, the law considers that those ones are still young, they should be under the custody of the mother. However, in the circumstances where the mother is incapable, for example, she's a lunatic, she's a drunkard, uh, factors, different circumstances, the law looks at what is happening. What is happening is this person having capacity or the responsibility to take care of these children. So they consider that who has the financial muscle. So if the husband has money, the law will order that they to take care of the children. But when they are under the custody, then when the law when for example the court finds that it is the woman who is problematic, like for example, drunkard or cannot take care of the children, then they will give the children to the man, to the husband. Yes.
Okay, thank you, JP. Yeah, when we get into that, the conversation becomes really, really interesting.
Mm.
And I think you are going to get so many questions fired your way. I think that according to the Ugandan law, also something I have read is that also in case you separate, if the child stays with the father, also the woman is supposed to give child support, right?
Yes.
Okay. Can you please
Yes.
maybe, because most of the times you see these women, they want us to give child support and somehow they relax and do nothing.
Mm. No.
How do we legally
The,
go about it as men omukazi yakunagaho
you
n'abantu?
are now one day in Kanja Kot Kabale, then there is this woman who came. She wanted child support of 500,000. Then the court clerk told her that mbona emitwaro atanu uragabona ngukari bampashatu ngubona ashatu unago kugatariho bakaenda bamera child support emitwaro 2 n'ecweka pama every month emitwaro 2 n'ecweka. Now what we are looking at is during the application for custody, when the law is looking at the custody of the children, we are looking at who has capacity. Now, if the husband says me, my wife has or my ex-wife has capacity to take care of the children, the law will compare the woman. The law will compare the woman to take care of the children, to provide support. Now, but again, this is on proof. You must provide evidence that, for example, your wife works with KCC, she's a CEO, she's a managing director, or she has this, or she's a teacher, or she has this form of employment and whatnot. Once you have proof that your wife earns this much, then you can also say she's also responsible. She can also take care of the child. So usually it is women who are always applying for custody. So they usually attack men that let the man pay, let the man pay. But in circumstances where the woman is well off, where the woman has capacity, then the courts will consider both of you. You should contribute equally. You contribute to education, then clothing, the welfare of the children.
Yeah.
So the court looks at the welfare of the children and they says who has the capacity? Is it the father? Is it the mother who has more money? More money than the other. If all of you have money, then you can contribute jointly. If one of you or if one of the couples doesn't have, then the other one will be compared. Yes.
Okay. Yes. Is there anyone with a question? Because I have many questions. I might ask only my questions if you don't put your hands up. Please, if you have a question for JP, you need to ask now is the time. Okay, any question? Faida Rose is on pause and Nakato, they are on pause. Okay, in the meantime, as people think about their questions, maybe I will also throw another one to you. We have the church marriage, which you talked about.
Yes.
And then we have the customary marriage. Most of the times, the church and the civil marriage, what has happened in our Ugandan marriages, when the people are tired of each other, the woman runs away. That is the most thing that happens. And sometimes they don't get into divorce. She runs away until you get someone else, and when you have someone else, she wants to come back. How do you do that if someone actually took you to court that you have another wife but she ran away? That's one. But also, if because divorce in Ugandan courts is very hard to achieve. It takes so long and it takes a lot of energy and takes a lot of resources. What would you advise people who would be in that kind of position?
Now, Dickens,
Yeah,
actually, divorce in Uganda is the simplest. It is simple
sure.
because yes, it lays out. It the grounds for divorce are very clear. It's adultery, it's desertion. In this respect, what
Yeah.
we have talked about is desertion. Desertion is the law recognizes desertion as someone who has left the marriage for more than 2 years. Once you prove that this woman left, and actually each ground is separate. Each ground is separate. Desertion, once you prove desertion, once you prove adultery, once you prove cruelty. Cruelty is also another ground. Then there is also a fourth ground called irretrievable breakdown of marriage. Irretrievable breakdown of marriage is where you say that really this cannot work. That we are tired of each other. It is not working. You are not adulterous. You are not cruel, but the marriage is not working. There also considers that. Now, usually where it becomes litigious is in cases where property is involved, where someone is saying, I have this property, I don't want to share, I don't want to give this one. So there, it becomes a little bit lengthy because now the courts are trying to prove who contributed this, you brought this, who brought this on table, who did this. That's when it becomes a little bit lengthy and takes much time. However, there is also what we call consent. You consent to the divorce. You reach there, you say, we are tired of each other, let's consent, and within a day or two, the marriage is done. So where now someone runs away, we can call it desertion. But for desertion to be effective in courts, it must be for a period of 2 years. So
Okay.
if someone leaves and on the last day comes back, the 2 years have not elapsed, so they will deny you a divorce.
What about if someone who actually deserts is the one who is asking for divorce after 2 years? Would that be because, or it is the person whom they left that will say, I no longer want him?
Any of the party can use it. Any of the party, actually we call it parties, and whether the husband or a wife, if one has run away, as long as you can prove that within a period of, if I run away and you don't come for me or you don't call me, it means you are also interested in me deserting. So any party can use the defense of desertion, I mean the ground of desertion, to apply for divorce, irrespective of who left who.
What
Because
happens
the
if
key
you
point
what
here is
happens
there
if
is
you
no
want
contact.
what happens if you want divorce and the other partner doesn't want, and you don't desert but you feel you are tired, the other one thinks it can still work out?
Now there are grounds. There are grounds of
Mm.
divorce. The grounds of divorce, like I
Yeah.
already told you, there is
Mm.
adultery. There is also cruelty. You know.
Mm.
So now you
Yeah.
who is applying, you the petitioner, you is applying, you must
Mm.
satisfy court that the any of these grounds exist. The other one will
Mm.
say, I have not been cruel to you. I have not been adulterous. I have not been.
Mm.
I have not deserted you. So you want to divorce on what
Mm.
grounds? So now the onus is on you to prove that actually the other party is guilty on one of the grounds for divorce. So if you cannot
Yeah.
prove that this person is adulterous, then your application will be
Mm.
thrown away.
I see.
Yes.
Yes,
Thank
Isaac.
you, Council, and thank you, Dickens.
Mm.
Yeah.
My question is still within the same line. That's why I interjected.
Yes.
Assume all that is provided. Legally, how long does the process take?
Um. Now you see, court proceedings are procedure.
Mhm.
Mm.
You first make an application. When you make an application, you serve it on the other party. It's a petition. It's a petition. You serve it on the other party. The other party is given about 15 days to respond. Now,
Mm.
after 15 days, then the other party is given another 10 days to
Mm.
respond to what you wrote. It's
Mm.
called a rejoinder. So within a period of 1 month, we are exchanging documents, pleadings.
Mm.
Within one
Yeah.
month, you are exchanging. If the other person, if all parties are represented by lawyers, so you spend 1 month exchanging documents,
Mm.
and then in the second month, that's when you appear in court for pre-trial. You know, to discuss on
Mm.
which issues, to discuss to ensure that all of the paperwork is done. Then, in case there are areas of contestation, then you are given hearing dates. Um, usually it should maximum with our backlog in Uganda between depending, and usually most cases, Brian, especially which involve children, those ones can even
Mm.
take more than a year, because one wants the children, the other one doesn't want to let the children go. And then also cases involving properties, those ones can even take more than 3 years, you know, because people are putting up spirited fights. Some are hiding, others properties, others are doing this. So, but there are cases, for example, where people are married today, after 2 weeks, they are tired of each other, they want to divorce. That one, there are no children involved, there is no property. That one usually takes even 2 months are enough. 2 months are enough. You go to court, you say, you prove your case, you prove your ground. And once you prove, the marriage is immediately. Now, after divorce, they issue what they call a decree nisi. A decree nisi is a court order which shows you that really your marriage can no longer stand, or you are tired of each other, so you are going to divorce. So after 6 months, they give you what they call a decree absolute. Now that automatically terminates the marriage fully. Then the other person can remarry. Now, even during the pendence of the decree nisi, you can get married to another person. And then now in the court, you say, you see, this person moved on, they already remarried. So just give me my decree absolute. So, but naturally, the gestation period of a case, of a divorce case in Uganda, Brian, it should be between 3 months and 6 months. But this is for non-contentious cases. But for contentious cases, it may be a little longer. It takes more time, like 1 year and a half. 1 year and a half. Because, like I told you, is because of the children, how many children are involved, and also the properties. Who is giving who is giving what. But there is also a shorter route, like I told you, of consenting.
Yeah.
So if a
Okay.
client doesn't have the capacity to raise the money for a lawyer, how
Mm.
is that person protected? I remember Dickens had said that the divorce is expensive and takes time. So for people who do not have the capacity to hire a lawyer, how are they
Mm.
protected?
No, you can self-represent yourself. There is self-representation. You
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They say you appear in court and they give you documents. They explain to you. They explain to you. But most importantly, um, with our courts, the courts, there are these justice centers where they
Mm.
offer pro bono services, free
Yeah.
legal services, because like divorce proceedings, they involve documentation. They involve documentation, pleadings, you know. So, and the courts are aware that you need such kind of assistance in order to understand. There are always interpreters in court to ensure that the people understand the language of court in its plain form. However, where this person really feels they need representation, there is pro bono services from legal aid, Uganda Law Society, together with justice centers. They have free lawyers whom they can allocate to you. But also, you are free to represent yourself and say, "Me, I write what I want," and the law will consider what you have written. You know, they know it's not professional. It does not align to the procedural requirement. But you have, if you are saying, "Me, I didn't do it," that is automatically you have said, "I am not guilty." You know,
Mm.
so there is also self-representation, Brian.
Okay, let me give Isaac to come in and also ask his question. Isaac.
Oh, yes, Council. Now, thank you.
Mm,
There is now, let's say, this family that they divorce, and then in divorce they remain in the same household, that they
mm,
separate room. I don't know whether the law provide that, the Ugandan law, but then
mm,
they divorce because on the cruelty, claiming that the wife is very cruel,
mm,
and then the wife is also complaining that she cannot leave the room because the household, she cannot leave the household because they built the house together. I
mm.
think then how can you advise such a family? Because now you may find that they even separated rooms. They separated rooms within the same household,
Mm,
but
mm.
the other partner still finds her wife in the other room, and then they still quarrel and fighting. So,
Mm.
uh, how can you advise such a family? But though does the
Yeah.
law provide divorce, but divorcing the rooms only remaining in the same household and then separating beds?
Mm. And now, Isaac, there is also what we call a legal separation. Legal separation is where you agree with your wife and say, you know what, let's give this relationship a break. You agree and say, you let's live separate ways for a period of maybe 3 months or 4 months to calm things down. Now, what we are talking about in this context is when a couple are still staying in the same house, but they are having serious issues. Now, if they have, if they have engaged, if they have started because before you go to court, the law does not recognize you. The law takes care of you after you have come in. When you come to court and say we have initiated the process of divorce, you can even stay in the same house when you are divorcing. You know, when you are during the process of divorce, you are staying in the same house in different beds. However, the law will make orders now. After divorce, they will make orders on who is entitled to what. Especially now, if, for example, they are in this house, the law will make orders. For example, this is a matrimonial property. Uh, they can say, you, the husband, you have a financial muscle, you can compensate the wife and stay with uh, the house. Or you, the wife, you have the best financial muscle, take care of the compensate, give a share of this to the husband and leave. So after divorce, they cannot stay in the same house. No. But the law will make a provision for the house. The law can say, you sell the house and then share the proceeds of the house by this fraction, by this measure, you know, this percentage. The husband take 30%, the children will take 40%, the wife the other percentage. So now, during the process, during the process of divorce, you can still stay in the same house, because we have seen cases where a couple, for example, initiates divorce proceedings. Then during the course of hearing, they come back when the wife is pregnant. You know, so there are envisions that people can reconcile. People can have a change of heart, a change of mind. Some decisions are taken under the heat of passion, under different circumstances. And again, even after granting divorce, by the way, I already told you, after granting you the divorce, the law still gives you an option of another 6 months. During those 6 months, you can still come back and inform court that, you know what, we are back together. And then the other divorce order which they had given, which is called a decree nisi, is cancelled. And then again you are remarried. Yeah. So before the elapse of 6 months, the law will still consider you having that leverage, that leeway, like that there is some window of hope that maybe you can get back together. But if you can't get back together, then that's why they give you this a decree absolute. A decree absolute automatically terminates everything, and now people, the couple are free to remarry. So during the divorce proceedings, the couple they can stay in the same house. However, if the other person is becoming abusive, there are orders, restraint orders. You can inform court that this man is violent, this woman is violent, and the court will make orders to that effect, that please restrain yourself from, you know. That is for couples who are staying in the same house and during the process of divorce. So there are orders, restraining orders.
Okay. Now, thank you, JP. Please, if you have a question, you put your hand up. And in the meantime, if not, since there's no hand, you talked about that if you were in the process of divorce, then the
Mm,
court will determine how much each one can actually get, and said that if you have a wife who is not working, then the other work that is done in the home is also considered in that way
mm,
as work, so she will be able to get something. Now, my
yes.
question is, if you have had a
Mm,
maid since you actually you started your marriage, for example, and the
mm,
maid has been doing all the housework, that somehow even she will give you food, clean the house, take care of the children and all that,
mm.
what do you would that be considered as someone who has contributed less if you went to court and said this wife or this woman has not done so much?
And like again, like I told you, what the law looks here is you the mutual. You see, Dickens, mutual love. The woman is giving you love. Can you quantify how much sex they are giving you? They are giving you sex. They are giving you food, even if they are not feeding you directly or through. They are feeding you through the maid and preparing food. There is that emotional support the wife is giving, and the law is saying you cannot put. You cannot put cost to it. You cannot quantify it and say, we slept together for 2 days, we slept together for 1 month, or what, you gave me this. No, the law does not quantify it. So it said the woman's contribution is invaluable. You cannot quantify it to say that according to you, the sex which we had last night is measured at 40,000 or 1 million or 200,000.
It
You
is
cannot.
5K it is 5K
Oh,
these days.
5K. So you cannot. So a woman, it is believed that a woman will contribute in one way or the other. The
Okay.
woman will, for example, to make the house clean, to give order, giving
Yeah.
command to the maid that please prepare food in this way or the other. It is also work that is being done. You know. So they would
How
Okay,
still
how
let
be
me give
about
you
entitled.
another question.
Yes,
how
please.
about if it's vice versa? If it's the man who is not working,
Mm.
does the same apply to the man? That the man has
Yes.
been providing emotional support.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes. Yes.
then also
Uh,
about inherited property. If I have a building from my father, is my
mm.
wife entitled to it?
No, no, she's not entitled, and the law comes in specifically to say even cultural land. You know, there are, for example, you find you are a custodian of a family property. Once you prove that, because you see, a woman will come from China, comes to Rwanda and finds someone in charge of family land in Rwanda. She cannot say now this is family land, this is our land. No, it depends. If it is a customary land that is owned by families, for example, in Guru, there is a lot of customary land ownership. That type of tenure system is customary in nature. So if you find that your husband already had this land on behalf of the family, you cannot share. You only share what is believed. For example, matrimonial property, what you made, what you contributed, what you achieved during the pendency of the marriage.
What if my father gave us the house on our wedding as a gift?
Now that if they gave it to you as a gift, then now it becomes joint property.
Ah.
Now it is your gift. It becomes joint property. Because if the woman wasn't there, then you wouldn't receive that house as a gift.
Okay.
If you receive a gift, that becomes joint property.
What if?
Unless it is, for example, Brian, for example, your father can give in a will and say, this house is for JP. Now that will be mine. But you say it is for JP's family. Then it becomes part of.
If I agree with my father, of course, after things being sour, that you say in court that you say for you had given me that house, not me and my wife. And now my father says, no, actually, me, I had gifted my son, not my son and the wife.
Now, what the wife will bring evidence to the contrary.
Which evidence? A video.
Exactly. There are videos, the circumstances. There are other. For example, for you make. There are people who are present during the wedding. You know, they are witnesses.
Okay,
so,
JP, I have another question.
Yes, please.
If I married customarily, because usually, you see, we go to Kwanjula, we do the customary marriage. When you finish that, you go to church and do the church marriage. Now, the customary marriage allows you to get up to 20 wives, like you said.
Yes.
The church marriage does not allow you. What if I got another one and I say, for me, I'm going by the other one, I no longer want to go by the other one? What happens?
I have not understood your question.
Because I did, for example, someone who did two, because we do the customary marriage first, then we go to church.
Yes.
Now, does that mean that when we go to church, it cancels the customary marriage?
Yes, automatically. Even if you have 20 customary marriages, once you decide to go to church, you leave all the 19. You choose one, you go with one. So if you go back to the other ones, then you are committing adultery. If you go to any of the other ones, you are committing adultery. So church marriage is one wife, one husband.
Okay. Yes, Malik.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. Comrade John Paul, for the nice lecture. It's been long since I last heard your voice.
Yeah, sure.
This is really very informative. Thank you for organizing this. My question is one: do the laws of Uganda provide for contract marriage?
Yeah, and Nyashira Malik.
Yes, please.
A pleasure hearing from me again. Now, the law does not recognize contract marriages at the moment. Maybe there will be amendment in the future, but at the moment, the law does not. Actually, even if they discovered that it was an arranged or contract marriage, it would be regarded as void and illegal. You would even be punished or prosecuted. So at the moment, we don't do contract marriages in Uganda.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So don't try it, Malik. Don't try it at home. That's what they do in wrestling. They said, do not try this at home.
I was
Mm.
asking for some.
If you do it, and again there are disagreements, then when you appear before a court, the court will not give you any remedy because they will say what you did was illegal.
Mm. Now, I have seen some marriages, JP, people who have
Mm.
gone to wed and they have wedded in a church that is not legal, that is not legalized by the state.
Yes.
This question is in two forms because usually the state has given a mandate to the church, and so
Mm.
therefore the church does not really do marriage on behalf of God, but the church, but the
Of the
government, right?
state. Mm. Mm.
And now I have seen places where you go and they are not legalized to do marriage, but the pastors, because the pastors also want the money, they make the
Mm.
people wed in their churches and they give
Mm.
them marriage certificates from NASA.
Mm.
Then you reach a point when you are not agreeing with this woman that you stay with, or the woman is not agreeing with the man, and they want to divorce.
Mm.
And when you go to divorce, there is this, you have to now think about the property and who takes what.
Mm.
In that case, if I went to the court and then you came, I got this girl and we have been staying together and we married, but it was not legal,
Mm.
do we share any property or whatever actually they worked? If I am the man and I say I brought her into my house, everything becomes
Mm.
mine.
Now, to answer your question,
Mm.
actually, it is a yes. The already will share on the property, and this is my reasoning, is
Mm.
because there was an intention. There was an intention
Mm.
to commit to a marriage, and
Mm.
actually, you went ahead and got married. So it
Mm.
was not brought to your attention. It was not brought to your attention that
Mm.
actually the church where you did the marriage from was fake. Now, the
Mm.
proceedings during church may be fake, but the marriage is not fake. Because you see, it
Mm.
was a union, and both of
Mm.
you undertook, you intended to get married, and you went ahead and
Mm.
even got married and continued and had
Mm.
children, you know.
Yeah.
So to discover later that the church was fake, that cannot negate the
Mm.
marriage. It cannot. It cannot. The courts will still interpret that the intention of the parties was to
Mm.
do a wedding,
Mm.
was to get married. And
Yeah.
indeed, you went ahead and got married and lived through a life of married people and even gave birth to children or didn't give birth to children. But you intended, the intention here,
Mm.
the court will
Mm.
look at the intention. What was the intention of the parties? To have a marriage. And you went
Mm.
ahead, you thought whatever you did was right, only to
Mm.
discover that this church was unregistered. And
Yeah.
again also there are licenses. There are
Mm.
licenses which are where, for example, some munyonyo, like this
Mm.
Speak Resort or
Yeah.
maybe Kawali Stadium, you can
Mm.
go to the minister and apply for a special license to allow
Mm.
you to conduct a marriage
Mm.
from a given place that is not
Yeah.
necessarily, the already gazetted churches and offices
Mm.
that we know about.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yes, Malik.
Thank you once again. Two questions now.
Mm.
The first one, I think I missed the point where you are talking about cohabiting. What
Mm.
extent cohabiting result into a marriage?
Mm.
If we cohabit for say 60 years until one of us dies, does one have
Mm.
rights over property or
Mm.
otherwise? I think I missed that. Another thing,
Yes.
Council Paul, we have
Mm.
seen some churches acting mass weddings.
Mm.
Are they supported by the current legal framework?
Okay.
Yes.
Now, cohabitation. Cohabitation is boyfriend and girlfriend. The law does not recognize boyfriend and girlfriend. So you can live as boyfriend and girlfriend for even if it is 8 years. And when during maybe when the other passes away or whatsoever, it would take a especially a special recognition, especially where like properties are involved. We can have here where properties are joint in joint names in both names of the parties, but if the property is in the names of the man only or for the wife, the other family cannot take because we are not recognized officially. Cohabitation is not recognized under our laws at the moment. So, however, there are special cases. For example, there was a case of Olive Chigongo and Alhaji Chigongo. Do you remember that one? Where Olive Chigongo and Alhaji Chigongo lived together for more than 30 years, but the courts found during divorce that actually they were not married. But for us, we thought they were officially married. But the courts interpreted and as per the laws, they discovered the Haji Chigongo and Olive Chigongo were never married despite living together for more than 30 years.
They
However,
were boyfriend and girlfriend.
they were boyfriend and girlfriend. But in this case is peculiar in that the wife was the Olive Chigongo was always contributing money, and she had proof that she contributed money to a certain project which were owned by Chigongo, and the courts were able to award her some money out of that. So in this case, where you stay together as boyfriend and girlfriend for a longer period of time, it will now depend on what the properties you have. How are they? In whose names? So whichever, if they are in your names, they are yours. If they are in her names, they are hers. If it is joint, then you will share jointly. Then the other one is the other question was on what? Remind me.
It was on the mass weddings. Do they have
Mass wedding.
Yes.
Mass weddings. Mass weddings are okay. They are normal. They are officially recognized by the law. Because you see here, it is you apply. You go to the church. You apply. Here, it's the church giving you a convenient date. So mass weddings are convenience. However, the practice is the same. The procedures are the same. That you first go, you do marriage counseling, your marriage bans, you are announced for 21 days. 21 days are a must. Maybe if one of the procedures, like marriage bans, was trampled upon or was not done according to the law, that's when now the legality comes in. But if they have been marriage bans were conducted as required, the other one is procedure. I mean, it's the convenience of the church. The church will say what the available date is on this date. All of you come. Oh, we only have one priest, so please, you are all encouraged to come. We don't have any other priest coming in. In some areas they have only one priest, so they say now all of you intend, you do this, but they must follow the law in regards to preparations, marriage bans. 21 days are a must. So where they have done the procedures according to the law, it doesn't matter whether they are 100, 200, 300, as long as they have followed the right procedures.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, please.
That's
Thank you, Council JP.
You are much
Now
welcome.
I am asking, how much do you charge? How much do you charge for a client? Or what is the average? What is the average legal fees for divorce?
It depends. Where properties are involved, we look at how much we look at how much the couple has. What are you fighting for? These are the normal marriages where there are no children involved. Usually, our average range is from 3 million. 3 million and upwards. So where you find the couple.
Do you see what Dickens was talking about?
Man,
That the divorce is Katiao.
No, there are other lawyers. There are other lawyers who will charge 1 million, 2 million. But depending, again, like now, there are people who are friends, so you can easily say, okay, 1.5 or 2 million, Depending, there are circumstances involved in this. But
and
on
I used
average,
to be a good, and I used to be a good friend during school.
don't worry, I will be on me. A bit on me.
Yes, sir.
Brian,
Mm.
twagala zibeere emitwalo asatu.
No, but I find this conversation was very insightful. It's
Oh,
very
yeah.
insightful, and what makes it even more important is that it is less talked about.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. So, the organizers, thank you very, very much.
Okay, I need more questions. Solomon, you're welcome. Brenda,
Dickens, it is
Josephine,
9.
Sharp.
Thank you for you.
It is 9. We need to finish. But if someone has a very burning question that you think you can't sleep with, please, you might ask it and then he will answer it very fast. If there is no question, I would like to appreciate everyone who have attended, to appreciate JP for such an insightful talk, to appreciate everyone who has asked questions. And like I told you, I'm going to share this to add to the groups, the Catrico groups. They are actually the ones I'm usually sharing. I'm sure everyone will learn a lot from. Brian, your mic is on. Are you asking a question? Brian, twakulira. Let me katusimbe wakataho, but I want to say that thank you so much, everyone. We are going to have another talk. Like JP said, marriage law is very broad. So JP, we shall call upon you again and again so
Yes.
that you come in and teach us more about this. This is something that I thought about, and we are doing it every month. Some people had suggested that we do it twice per month. So the people who do this facilitate, we don't pay them. We learn from you for free, but we pray that God will bless you for this. And so in about 2 weeks, we shall have another talk, or in about 3 weeks, I'm thinking again of inviting another lawyer. I am so happy that Kenneth also at Kunda is here. Kenneth, please say hi to the people. Kenneth, it's been so long since we heard your voice. Is also one of the lawyers that I think we might one time need to engage, and I see him around. So I want to appreciate each one of you, and thank you so much, JP. I will just edit out a few things, and then I will share this on
All right.
the group. Yeah. Otherwise, thank you so much, everyone.
Thank
And
you.
Right, thank you.
Joined late, but thank you.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So I will stop the recording now.